My hope is that the Iranian politicians decide to draw a line, because this can really turn into an uncontrollable turmoil in the Middle East. But as I said, we don't have any access to inside the country. If any military sites have been attacked, the public have no access. These are heavily fortified areas in the country. Very difficult to confirm that. So Iran can continue to play this down if they really want to end this.
Israel is reported to have conducted airstrikes inside Iran, hitting targets in several cities, but Iran has denied it has been attacked. According to The Times, the strikes are yet to be confirmed by Israel or the US. But Iranian air defences are reported to have opened fire over the cities of Isfahan and Tabriz. The first reports of Israel hitting sites inside the Islamic Republic came from ABC News, citing anonymous US officials. Well, let's get some more information on this with Rana Rahimpour, who is an Iranian-British journalist. Morning, Rana.
Good morning, Chloe.
Lovely to speak to you. First of all, what are you hearing from your contacts inside Iran about? I mean, clearly this is an ongoing situation and there's not a lot of clarity.
You're absolutely right. As soon as we heard the news of these explosions, we checked whether there are any people in the city of Isfahan who could report it as well. Several citizens had confirmed that they had heard these explosions, and some videos were emerged on social media. Of course, there are very few journalists on the ground, so it's very difficult to get detailed news of what's going on inside. But so far, the state media has confirmed that the country's air defenses have shot down 3 drones over the city of Isfahan. Soon after the attacks, there were suspicions that a nuclear site near Isfahan had been attacked, but IAEA in recent hours has denied it, and he said that all Iran's nuclear sites are safe.
So what is likely to be the response from Iran when they're basically saying, oh, it was nothing, it was just a few drones? It's suggested by some US officials who've obviously been speaking anonymously that maybe it was a little bit more than this. What would you expect an Iranian response to be?
So if Iran responds to downplay this attack, as they have done so far, this is a sign that probably Iran is also hoping to draw a line and move on from this saga, at least for now. But it really depends on the coming hours to see whether any high-profile Iranian officials would comment about this or would insist that Iran has to respond. But so far, given on what we have received and how they're trying to show that it's not a significant attack, it's very likely that Iran is ready to move on.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because they've used very hard language, didn't they? That they were saying, if there was any retaliation for the 300 missiles and drones that were sent over Israel on Saturday night, they said if Israel comes in any way for a response, it will be swift and hard. So is that just because they need to sound tough to the Iranian public and actually behind the scenes maybe take a different line?
Not just the Iranian public. It's all about, it's about a matter of pride. Both Israel and Iran feel they have to be the last one who attacks the other one at this stage. So it was a matter of pride, and also they were hoping that might deter Israel from attacking the country. But these are just words, I think, and my hope is that the Iranian politicians decide to draw a line, because this can really turn into an uncontrollable turmoil in the Middle East. But as I said, we don't have any access to inside the country. If any military sites have been attacked, the public have no access. These are heavily fortified areas in the country. Very difficult to confirm that. So Iran can continue to play this down if they really want to end this.
And as you speak to people in Iran, just normal Iranians, how are they feeling right now? Are they worried about an escalation? Do they want a response from Iran?
It's very interesting. Iran is going through probably one of the most difficult periods in its recent history in terms of its legitimacy. It's never been so divided inside the country. So there are the minority who support the regime, and they wanted Iran to respond to Israel's attack on its consulate in Damascus. But then there are people who are extremely tired and fed up with the Iranian regime. And they also feel helpless. They have tried so many times to uprise against the regime, and they have been persecuted, they've been executed, and many of them are still in prison. So those people are not necessarily upset, especially if Israel is wise enough to only attack areas that are controlled by the Revolutionary Guards, and the innocent people remain safe. But at the end of the day, obviously everyone's worried, because this is going to affect everyone's livelihood, and already it had a detrimental effect on the Iranian economy.
Well, and when we mention about the Iranian economy, what about sanctions? I mean, extra sanctions being brought in for the attacks on Israel, seemingly pretty unsuccessful attacks on Saturday. What impact do sanctions have on ordinary Iranians?
At this stage, I think most of the major sanctions are already in place. So many of these sanctions that we heard about being imposed on Iran's drone programs or officials, these are very small sanctions that won't necessarily have a great impact either on the Iranian economy or the Iranian people. But what does have an impact is the instability. We know very well that markets are very scared of instability, and we've already seen how Iranian rial has lost its value significantly by about 20% in the last couple of weeks. So it suggests that this will definitely shrink the Iranian economy more than before.